The Walt Disney Company's Little Mermaid live-action remake is in trouble. Big trouble. So is the company. And when companies and movies get in big trouble, well, that's when companies and movies start making big mistakes. And folks, we are here to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. Happy to do it. It's a 3-video day, this being the third. Disney continues to make news, not the kind of news that they probably want to make, but the kind of news that we indeed must cover. Here's what we've got. The Little Mermaid movie should have made $1 billion easy. There's no reason for it not to, and yet they seem unable to make it even close. It is a movie that has been mired in racial issues of Disney's own making. Let's take a look at how this is going, starting with El Universal. Halle Bailey complains about racist comment. Now, this article I am translating to English using the translation function. Just know that it was originally in Spanish, is originally in Spanish. You can go read it in the original language if you would so choose. This by Red Carpet. The comment made by the TV Azteca host Patricio Borghetti to Halle Bailey, star of the new movie Little Mermaid, that no one of us in that room yesterday was seeing the color of your skin. By the way, that turned into a major compliment using an Argentinian idiom. That's a phrase, folks. Telling her that the audience was staring into her eyes. It was meant as a high compliment. Being twisted and turned around now, though. Was it clumsy? Sure. Did he intend to be absolutely complimentary? You bet. They tell us that the American actress complained about the interviews she had in Mexico. This derived from the one conducted by the TV Azteca host. Well, that was meant to be a compliment, ended up as a comment that was not well received, for which the young woman questioned why they had brought her to Mexico and asked not to be exposed to this type of situation again before personnel who were not sufficiently prepared. The representatives of Disney in Mexico, of course, almost had a heart attack with what happened. So there you go. We're back in it again. More news on this front. It's all about this issue rather than other issues. Here's a guy from Argentina, different culture. He's in Mexico doing the interview. Again, different culture. He's using a Spanish phrase, common, sort of almost romantic language, talking about the audience staring into her eyes. And it's twisted again. Now it's in the news. Now, why is this such a big deal for Disney? Such a big deal because this movie is set to flop. It's unimaginable. It's getting hard to figure out how they can make another movie flop. Now, the bonus news for Disney, the positive here, is that it is going up in projections. That's great, but it needs a lot more. Let's take a look. This out of boxofficepro.com. Little Mermaid is coming out in just a few days. Now, thankfully, it's went up. It was predicted to be down below Ant-Man Quantumania levels. Now it may be right around there. If you take a look at the 3-day on the Memorial Day weekend, we've got a 90 to 112 million on the 3-day. Of course, it goes up higher for the weekend. We'll see what happens there. I have doubts on this one, although I do suspect the first weekend might be big and then a major fall off. And that's what they're predicting here, because if you take a look, their high end is their high end for the 4-day is 143. Their high end for the whole domestic haul is 379. Now, if this movie manages to pull a 1-to-1 ratio, 50-50, domestic versus international, 379 would probably be enough to get it right at the break-even point. This is another really expensive film. But if it fails to reach this 379, or if the international is poor, then there's a real issue. By the way, China, currently tracking this film to be the worst received Chinese Disney film ever. It's going to have the worst bring home for Disney out of any movie they've ever released in the Middle Kingdom. Not good. We'll come back to that in a moment. Not good. Now, why are people getting so worried about this movie and thinking that perhaps Box Office Pro is being a little bit eager here? Well, because if you take a look at stuff like this, take a look down here at the like to dislike ratio. Now, I and many other YouTubers have a Chrome extension that allows us to take a look at the upvotes and the dislikes. Remember that YouTube disabled visibility of the dislikes, but there's a Chrome extension that lets you get around it. And there were some efforts to try and make that more difficult recently, maybe because of the Little Mermaid movie, but here it is. Well, this one by Aquafina Daveed Diggs, Disney. This one's called the Scuttlebutt. It's a new song for the soundtrack. It is performed by Aquafina, playing the part of a very different bird character, not the same Scuttle you're used to. Very different. And 2.3 likes to 14,000 dislikes. For this, it is not alone. If you go with this extension and look at the other songs, you will find that people are not too fond of some of these new songs, and they're definitely not fond of Kiss the Girl and the changes that are made there. Also being ratioed. Not good. What else has us concerned? Well, 93 reviews so far. These likely coming from the early access media, the people who have the most vested interest in being as positive as they can so that Disney will give them more early access in the future. Still, it's down at 70%. Can it hold on to being fresh? Perhaps. But this movie is also potentially in the future wavering between that and rotten. Not good. Not good, especially when Indiana Jones is not looking any better in terms of reviews. It's actually looking far worse. And if you've seen the CGI for Dead Fish Flounder and Mr. Krabs Sebastian, if you've seen Scuttle, then you know that if this film is holding 70%, if the critics have bound together to help her out, I can't even imagine how bad Indiana Jones must be that it's sitting down way, way down in comparison. Unbelievable. So that is why Disney may be getting desperate and resorting to some things that we thought surely they would never do again. To remind you of what one of those things might be, Disney was extremely interested at one point in making sure that Star Wars took off in China. By the way, it did not. And in order to get it to take off, they were willing to go to such great lengths as to essentially hide an actor of African descent, that being John Boyega. Now, this is out of Variety from 2015. And many of you out there thought that this Disney today was evolved. This Disney had grown. They were no longer the hypocrites of the past. You know, back when Iger was in charge of. Oh yeah. Take a look real quick. You've all probably seen this before. On the left side is the Chinese poster. On the right side is the poster for basically everywhere else. Notice a difference? Here we've got John Boyega playing Finn. Here we have him down here, hidden away. Gotta hide him. Can't let him be seen, right? And they even blended him in with the blue background. Huh. You know, there's a funny thing about this. Disney seems to think that blue backgrounds do really good jobs of hiding the race of people, of a particular type of people. And so that's what they did with John Boyega. But they would never do that again, right? Oh my gosh. That's right. From thatparkplace.com, the website I write for and edit. This by, me. The Little Mermaid posters in China hide her race. It says the exceedingly virtuous and utterly benevolent Walt Disney Company, I kind of like this writer, is back at the hypocrisy game again, whereas the company will die on the hill of teaching children in preschool about stuff they shouldn't. If you think so much, or if you so much as think they're going to put a person of African descent on a Chinese poster in a way that shows their skin tone, think again. And here we have it. Here's the Chinese IMAX poster. What do we have here? Turn her blue, light her face, light her hands, do everything you can to make sure that the Chinese do not know her race, even hide her hair behind her. That's right. She is being John Boyega'd. It's now a verb because Disney continues it. And you might think, well, surely the poster that's not IMAX is better. Oh, no. Look at this. Look how clever they are. They turn her back to you, shine the light at her face, and therefore the Chinese audience can't tell if that's shadow or dark skin. Then they light her face, so it's even more difficult to tell. For all they know, perhaps she's Chinese and just the lighting is there. Now, it's not working. We just said that. This is tracking to be the worst film from Disney in China. And it's a shame that that will indeed be due to issues that are improper. It sucks. That's a real societal issue over there. One of many, by the way. The government has some major issues as well over there, and we're no fan. There's the poster, though, or blown up. There's the poster for everywhere else that's not China. So if you're out there, if you're a person who maybe you don't even like this channel, maybe you think that I'm a bad person, he's just negative about Disney. How do you defend this? That's what we're here for. We're here to say, stop being hypocritical. Get behind this woman. You don't get to play both sides of the game. You don't get to virtue signal to the heavens. Make your entire marketing for months be about ethnicity rather than the story. But only do that where it helps. And where it hurts, do the absolute complete opposite. You don't get to do that without us calling you out on that. Because my opinion on all of this is that I despise treating people poorly or even well simply based on their ethnicity. Rather, it's my strongly held belief that we're all created with a divine worth to us, and that we all deserve to be treated with kindness and respect and love. Disney is not acting lovingly towards this actress. Disney has not acted lovingly towards the audiences. Disney hasn't done that, and that's no surprise because they're a corporation. They may tell you they're selling pixie dust, but they're not. And hopefully, after this summer, after how badly things are going so often for this company, hopefully they'll get back to real virtue. And real virtue would be to get behind this woman if she's your lead actress and support her, but do it because she's the best. She's the best. Not because you're attempting to make some sort of sociocultural statement by selecting her and then moving your marketing all around that. And then using that as a way to shield yourself from criticism when your CGI, when your music, when all of it is, well, not looking so hot. How in the world Lin-Manuel Miranda is doing so poorly with this, I don't know. But go listen to that Scuttlebutt song now that this video's over. Go listen to it and see if you can stand it. It is awful. It is just awful. And it's a shame that Lin-Manuel Miranda's name is attached to it because it's no good. Folks, Disney needs to turn it around. I'm tired of doing these negative stories about Disney. We're going to have one tomorrow, though. Tomorrow morning's the big one. Unless something changes, we're going to be doing, I guess, one of the biggest videos we've ever done on this channel. I hope you'll be there. But I'm getting a little tired of Disney screwing up. It's no longer fun. I know a lot of you disagree with that, but it's getting a little boring watching Disney do dumb things. They got to give us a couple wins. You know, we gave Guardians an 8 out of 10. We could use some more of that. We need to, at least make this be a fair fight, Disney. You're going down and going down hard. And anyway, folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and you can stick it to those algorithms when you click it. We're talking about the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. I will see you in the morning, I am sure. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, keep having fun.
Floral, it's time for you to walk the plank.
What? Why?
Cuz you haven't subscribed to WDW Pro yet. Nor bookmark thatparkplace.com on your web browser to get great articles from great contributors.
What?